Hey guys, so nice to be back. Today's going to be a lot about standing, which is really exciting. A beautiful opportunity to really warm up through the body and build some strength, especially some strength at end range. So, we'll get straight into it. I'm going to ask you guys to come to a high kneeling posture in the middle of your mat. Good. If you have any issues with the pressure underneath your knees, you can grab a pillow, a blanket, or you can double your mat up over a couple of times just to give your knees a little bit of cushion. Start to interlace through your hands, palms facing forward. Take a big breath in, and then as you breathe out, push your hands forward in space, round your upper back towards the back of the room, take your chin towards your chest. Just stay here for a moment. We're looking for this rounding through the front side of the body to really hollow out through the backside. Keep pushing your hands forward in space. We'll take one more round of breath here. Slowly release. Take just a couple of rolls of the shoulders back in space, allowing any lingering sensation to move away. Good. Then clasp your hands at your sacrum, your lowest spine. Take a big breath out, push your belly button to your spine. And as you breathe in, start to lift your hands up just a little. Arch through the front side. Push your chest towards the sky. We're looking for this extension of the anterior side of the body. Keep your breath really smooth, really slow. Once again, we'll stay here for just one more big breath in. Release on a breath out. You can roll through the shoulders if that's what feels right to you. Really nice. Leaving your right knee where it is, step your right foot to the front of the mat. Leaving your left knee where it is, step your right foot. Really nice. Guys, ground down through this right foot. We're going to pause just for a moment, feel your breath. We're going to start moving to that rhythm in just 1 second, so become really present about the in and out flow. Really nice. As you breathe in, start to drop the hips down and forward, take the chest up to the sky, and just stay here for a moment. Feeling left hip flexors, left front hip, potentially left thigh begin to open up. You might even have some sensation in the back of your right leg. Take one more big breath in. As you breathe out, start to take your hips down and back, your chest forward, come into a half Hanuman-like shape. Now it's really early in class. We're not here at all to force, nor to push. Just start to feel the sensation that the right hamstring underneath the right leg is offering you. You might even feel this in the right calf, maybe. Just observing these sensations at the beginning of class. We're not usually here just yet. Take one more big breath in and out. We're going to floss through this movement now. As you breathe in, reground the right foot. Take the hips down and forward, the chest up a little. As you breathe out, shift the hips down and back, chest forward, sitting bones flare up. 2 more times. Reground the right foot, lift the chest, feel buoyant as you breathe in. Use the whole breath out to fold, find your right hamstrings. 1 more just like that. Once again, don't push too far into this. It's super early in class. We're just here to wake up these muscles and to feel the sensation, potentially the difference later in class. As you breathe in, reground. Bring your right knee back in space. Step your left foot forward in space. Good. Take a moment to feel your breath. An opportunity to expand through the midsection, to breathe all of the air out. And then as you breathe in, taking the hips down and forward. It's like there's this string in your chest this time, drawing your chest up in space. If you want to, you can start to squeeze your shoulder blades together a little to open up the chest even more. And for a majority of us, because the sensation is in the lower half, we tend to forget about the upper half. So as best as you can, share the attention throughout the whole body. Just one more big breath in. Feel the ribs and the belly expand. As you breathe out, we're going to find that half Hanuman shape. Now, you don't have to look exactly as Tyler does. And this is one of the things, especially with an online platform, is you're using Tyler as reference. And that's okay. Maybe what he looks like is a goal. You don't have anyone else in the room. So don't worry about what you look like. Take advantage of that space. Let's take our last exhale together. We'll floss through this movement. Breathe in, reground the left foot, lift up through the chest, hips down and forward. Use the whole breath out to find your depth in this pose. 2 more times. As you breathe in, feel the right hip flexors thigh. As you breathe out, those left hamstrings now speak. Last one. Moving really slow and steady. Noticing where the sensation moves as it moves. Really nice. Slowly come up to that 90-90 shape. And we're going to stand at the top of our mat. Good, you can shake out through the legs. Just observe how the lower half is feeling this early in class. Now we're going to play around with those spinal rolls. We've done them in one class before. They feel a little funky, but I really encourage you guys, get into this. This is so important for our spine. Not just building body control, but also to ripple through the spine is really important for its health. So we're going to pretend like there's a wall in front of us. If you want to move to a wall, it's a really good idea. All right, first you're going to move your nose to the wall, then your chin, then your chest, then your hip points, then your knees, then your forehead, your chin, your chest, your hips, your knees. Keep going. Nose, chin, chest, hips, knees. Nose, chin, chest, hips, knees. 2 more. See if you can find some fluidity within this movement and controlling the body. Really nice. When you're done, you're to stand tall. We're going to do it the other way around. So, first we start with our knees, hips, chest, chin, nose. Keep going. Knees, hips, chest, chin, nose. Good. Find that fluidity once again. Having this beautiful opportunity to roll through the body, through the spine. Again, it's connecting the mind to the body and almost allowing this flow in. No judgment whatsoever. You're alone. Get into it. Just one more round. Really nice. Stand tall. And just allow the breath to become fluid once again. Start to look down at your right foot. Lift your left knee up to your chest. You can keep your hands at your heart, or you can lift your arms up in the sky, whatever feels best. But we really want to work on using the hip flexor to find buoyancy through this knee. You can flex the toes or point them, again, whatever feels best for you. Just start to grow really tall through the crown of the head. And once you feel as if you're ready, start to externally rotate through the left knee, control that movement, and find tree pose, encouraging the sole of your left foot to your inner upper thigh, or potentially your inner calf, just avoiding the knee area. Keep your gaze still. Your drishti, that single pointed focus, is going to be super important in this class. Start to squeeze your shoulder blades together. Find a really healthy posture. Starting to turn on those extensors through the right foot, the ankle, the knee. Just one more breath out. Control the right knee up, the left knee up towards the chest as you breathe in. Plant the left foot, watch it ground. Lift the right knee, stork pose. Now this is a pretty common posture in yoga. And for good reason. It's fantastic to strengthen and warm up our hip flexors. And it's also really important to stand on one foot, find that balance and build strength through our joints. Ankle especially. Once you feel as if you're ready, your gaze is still, start to find tree pose on the right side. Again, controlling that external rotation, a really healthy movement for the hip. Squeezing shoulder blades together, find that posture. Making sure we're not leaning back and we're not allowing this left hip to pop out in space. Draw that in towards the midline. Just one more big breath in. Foot finds the floor as you breathe out. You can shake out the legs if you need to. Now today we have a couple of postures in here that we wouldn't usually see in a yoga class. So if the first flow feels a little clunky, that's okay. Just look forward and again use Tyler as reference, not to copy exactly what his body looks like, but to find your variation of the pose. All right. Start to ground down through your left foot, lift your right knee up, find stork. We're going to take just one round of breath here. Find an expansive inhale, feel the midsection expand. A longer exhale, push the belly button towards the spine. As you breathe in, lift up through the hands. Extend the leg as you breathe out. Keep it nice and high as you possibly can. Just take one more breath out. Push the belly button towards the spine. Keep the legs straight, the arms straight. Warrior 3 as you breathe in. Reaching the hands forward. Flex your left toes. Push the sole of your foot towards the back of the room. Let's take one more big breath in. Reach forward. Keep the belly on. Swim the arms down by your side. Dekasana as you breathe out. Just a one breath hold here. Take a big breath in. Squeeze the air out as you breathe out. Right knee up towards your chest. Find stork pose. Left knee. Padahastasana. Bring your left hand to your big toe. Now pause here if you can. You can grab the knee if you need to, behind the thigh or the knee. Good. Your variation, either grabbing the big toe or behind the knee. As best as you can, start to extend through that leg. Breathe in. Draw your left shoulder back in space as much as you can. We're nearly there. Start to open up through the hip. Bring that left foot out towards the side. Really nice. Now here it gets a little funky. We're moving towards dancer's pose. Take a bend in that left knee. And you want to catch the inside of the foot so the shoulder's rolling back in space. Let's take a big breath in. Open up through the chest. Find thoracic rotation. As you breathe out, kick the hand into the foot. Find dancer's pose. That's where it gets a little funky. Keep this left hip down in space as best as you can. Let's take our last breath out. Let go of the foot slowly. Crescent lunge as you breathe in. Good. Take a bend in that back knee. If you need a little break, you can bring your back knee down to the earth. Here, tuck the tailbone down and forward. You've heard it in every one of our classes. We want to open up that hip flexor. Let's take one more big breath in. Reach up through the hands. Lift up on the back knee. Arrowhead. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Bring your chest forward. Keep the back of your left knee broad towards the sky. Let's breathe out one last time. Stork pose. Push the floor away with the right foot. Lift that left knee. Lift your arms up. Foot to floor. Hands to heart. Breathe out. Guys, wobble through your legs. I know it needs it. This first one held is always going to be a little tough. But when we find that fluidity in movement, you'll notice that seamlessly all of these postures move into one big movement. All right. When you're ready, ground your foot. Lift your right knee up. Good. Just find stork pose. Only one breath hold here. Start to extend the leg. Keep the belly button in. Turn on through the core. Hip flexor thigh, lifting the leg. Let's take our last breath out. Push belly button to spine. Keep that right leg straight. Arms forward, warrior three. Really nice. You can bend your standing leg if that's what you need. Just keep your biceps as close to your ears as you can. One more big breath in to reach forward. Dekasana, swim the arms down. Hug those shoulder blades towards one another. Keep the chest broad. Take your last breath out. Stork pose as you breathe in. Lift that right knee high. Lift up through the hands. This is where we find our hand to our foot, our knee, our shin, whatever's going to work best for you. This leg that's lifted, you can keep it as bent as you need to, but extend when you are ready. Really nice, guys. Slow and steady, start to find that external rotation. Really control that movement. Let's move towards dancer's pose. Start to take a bend in the knee. Keep the hand and foot connected. Just readjust the hand. Make sure your shoulders out towards your side. Breathe in, find thoracic rotation. Breathe out, find dancer's pose and pause. Make sure your hips are relatively square towards the earth. Keep kicking that hand into your foot. One more breath out. Let go of the foot slowly. Crescent lunge. As you breathe in, you can drop that back knee to the earth just for this first round. Feel that psoas opening, that deep hip flexor as you turn on through your right glute. Really nice. When you next breathe in, lift up off that back knee if you're not already there. Arrowhead. As you breathe out, open up through the chest. Keep the belly off the thigh. As best as you can, tuck the tailbone down and under. Let's breathe out together. Stork pose. As you breathe in, move slow. Foot to floor, hands to heart. Breathe out. Now, if this is that point in the class where you're like, all right, India, I don't think so. I think I'm going to do another one. I really suggest you stay. When we find this, I guess, essence of fluidity within our movement, you're going to be amazed at how you feel after. Just take your time. All right, let's get into it. One breath, one movement. Move as slow as you can. Focus on the transition. Right foot grounds. Left knee rises, breathe in. Extend the leg, keep it high, keep the belly on, breathe out. Warrior three, reach the arms forward, that left leg back. Swim the arms down by your side, Dekasana, use an exhale. Find that buoyancy, lift the left knee up, breathe in. Hand to foot as you breathe out. Extend, breathe in to your depth. Find that external rotation as you breathe out. Readjust the foot in the hands. Extension through the thoracic spine. Inhale. Kick the foot into the hand. Breathe out. Whole breath out to arrive. Slowly drop that back foot. Breathe in. Crescent lunge. Arrowhead. Chest forward. Length through that back leg. Stork pose. Take a big breath in. Foot to floor. Exhale. Adjust your gaze as you need. Left foot grounds. Right knee rises. Stork pose. Use a whole breath in. Extend the leg using the whole breath out. Keep it higher. Plug that right hip in. Extend warrior three. Dekasana, breathe out. Right knee all the way to your chest. Feel buoyant as you breathe in. Hand to foot or knee as you breathe out. Extend through the leg. You can keep it as bent as you need. Breathe in. Find that external rotation, that control of the hip as you breathe out. Slow and steady. Readjust the hand. Make sure that the shoulders peeling back. Open the chest. Inhale. Dancer's pose. Use a breath out. Control this transition. Crescent lunge. Feel the hip flexor. Breathe in. Arrowhead. Open the chest. Breathe out. Stork pose. Ground the left foot to lift the right knee. Foot to floor. Hands to heart. Exhale. Let's go again. Ground that right foot. Lift that left knee. Extend, keeping it as high as you can. Plug that left hip in. Find warrior three as you inhale. Swim the arms down. Dekasana, breathe out. Find stork pose. Once again, lift the knee up really high. Place the hand to the foot, the knee, whatever you choose. Straighten through that leg as best as you can. Breathe in. Slow and controlled. Feel this external rotation enter the body. Bend the knee to readjust the hand. Open the chest. Lift that right arm up. Kick the foot into the hand to find this anterior opening as you breathe out. Let go of that foot with control. Land in that crescent lunge. Arrowhead, open the chest. Push down through the right foot to lift up through the left knee. Foot to floor, hands to heart. Exhale. Straight away. Right knee rises. Nice and high. Extending the leg, trying to keep the height. Slow and steady. Tip at the hips to find that warrior three. Biceps by ears. Swim the arms down. Find that control. Right knee lifts up towards chest. Feel buoyant as you inhale. Hand to foot. Keep the chest open. Extend through the leg as much as you can. Breathe in. Control this external rotation. Keep your gaze still. Start to take a bend through that right knee as best as you can. Open the chest. Gaze stays. Dancer's pose. Breathe out. With control, drop that right foot. Lift the hands up. Find the psoas. Breathe in. Arrowhead as you breathe out. Right knee will rise. Lift up to inhale. Foot finds the floor. Breathe out. And just observe how the legs are feeling. We're going to move through this flow one more time. Just one more. Tyler is right there with you. And so is every other yogi doing this class. Just see if you can find that fluidity now, guys. Ground down your right foot. Lift your left knee. Take a big breath in. Extend through the leg as slowly as you can. It gets to late when you finish breathing out. Warrior three. Keep your biceps by your ears. I know that's tough. Now swim the arms down and open up through the chest. Good. Stork pose. Lift the knee higher than you have. Arms up. Hand to foot or knee. Yogi's choice. Extend through that leg as best as you can. And find that sweet external rotation. Control the movement. Dancer's pose. Make sure that that left shoulder's peeling back. Breathe in. Kick the foot into the hand. Tip at the hips as you breathe out. With control. Crescent lunge. Really nice, Tyler. Rise up. Keep the chest open as it moves forward. Arrowhead. Stork pose. Last one on this side. Enjoy it. Foot to floor. Hands to heart. Breathe out. All right. Last side as you breathe in. Right knee rises. Extend the leg. Keep it nice and high. I know that's a tough movement. Plug the hip up. Reach forward. Breathe in. Find this length. Swim the arms down as you breathe out. Lift that right knee. Use the hip flexors. Hand to foot. Exhale. Keep the chest open. Extend the leg. Breathe in. Controlled, seamless transition to the external rotation. Use a whole breath in to reposition the hand to open up through the chest. A whole breath out to tip at the hips. Let go of that foot slow. Find the psoas as you inhale. Tuck tailbone down and forward. Open the chest forward in space. Arrowhead. Ground the left. Lift the right. Breathe in. Foot to floor. Hands to heart. Exhale. Guys, wobble out your legs. You can push the tops of your toes into the earth to find length through the top side of the ankle. On your next breath in, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands rise, tailbone tucks down. Uttanasana, forward fold, breathe out, pedal through the legs. Bending one, straightening the other. As best as you can, even as you pedal through the legs, from your hip points, through your spine, your chest, your shoulders, and your head becomes this weight, offering the lower half length. You might feel this through your outer hips, potentially through your glutes, your hamstrings, your calves. Wherever you feel this, allow it. Bend through your knees, rest your belly on your thighs. We have 2 more breaths here. One more expansive breath in through the midsection. See if you can drop weight further into the upper half of the body. Take your last long breath out here. Fold into the space. As you breathe in, slowly begin to roll up through the spine. Feel it become straight once again as you stack into this strong pillar of strength. Roll the shoulders back and down. Good. Guys, amazing job to get this far into the class. That flow was really, really tough. Well done. Now we have an optional arm balance for those who want to go there, or a really incredible stretch for the outer hips. You choose your journey. Start to ground down through that right foot. Lift the left knee up just as much as you need to cross the left ankle over the right knee. We're coming into open eagle. You can bend through that standing leg as much as you want, but here I'm going to encourage you guys to spin your sitting bones up. Find length through the spine, shoulder blades together, and broaden your collarbones forward. Make sure that your left toes are flexed. Stay if you want to stay. Or here's the option for Ekapada Galavasana, flying pigeon pose. It's a mouthful. From there, if you want to try the arm balance, bring your hands to the earth, shoulder width apart, if not just a little bit further. Hook your left toes onto your right tricep. Make sure it's up as high as it can go. Take your gaze forward, lock your left toes on, start to shift weight into your hands, maybe just your back toes, your right toes fly off the earth, or you can do what Tyler's doing and start to lift that right leg up using just sheer glute strength. You can stay in either of those options. Or if you want to stay in your open eagle shape, I really suggest you do. This is a fantastic opening, but we are really warm for that Ekapada Galavasana shape. So if you're playing with that, play with it. Pause the video if you want to pause the video, but super slow and steady. We're going to start to rise up once again. Lift that left knee towards your chest. Drop the left foot down. Shake out the legs. Really nice. This Ekapada Galavasana shape, please guys, know it's optional. Open eagle is a fantastic shape to open up through the outer hips, and you're in control of how much sensation enters the body. Let's go to the other side. Ground the left foot, lift the right knee. Externally rotate, place the right ankle, slowly flex the right toes. Spin the sitting bones back, the chest forward, find this length, bend the standing leg as much as you want. Stay here, or maybe Ekapada is where you go next, placing your hands on the earth. See now on this side, you can watch Tyler flex those toes and wrap around his tricep. That's really important. As you shift weight, grip your fingers into the mat, keep your collarbones broad. You can just take a bend in the knee. Or maybe you start to lengthen out through that leg. Again, guys, using Tyler as a reference, yes, but knowing he's really deep in this practice and his body really enjoys this pose. Notice when he came out of it, it was just as controlled, but if you fall, you have to laugh. And then make your way back to whatever variation suits you best. This is a fantastic stretch to take away with you, something fantastic you can do at your desk when you stand up. You just need to open up those outer hips. But when you feel as if you are ready, exit the posture, shake out the legs, notice how the body is feeling. All right, guys, step to the front of your mat if you're not already there. Leaving your right foot where it is, step your left leg back in space and come down onto your left knee. We're going to revisit what we did at the beginning of class, just to observe how yoga opens up the body, how it warms the body. But this is still classified as strength and end range, which is really, really important. We don't want to find that empty range, which we consider flexibility. So here, create the 90-90 shape in your legs, and then interlace your fingers and bring them to your front knee, pinky closest to the knee. Now here, we're going to utilize this to open up the psoas in particular. So as best as you can, using a breath out, start to round through the upper spine towards the back of the room, and as much as you can, take the tailbone down and then forward in space. You can have the toes tucked, but if they're not tucked, push the back of your back foot into the earth as much as you can. Now you guys should be feeling pretty strong sensation through the left front hip. Once again, this is a fantastic posture for you to take away from this class and use in your everyday life. Keep pushing your hands to your knee to really emphasize this rounding of the upper spine. Let's take our last breath out, push. As you breathe in, release through the hands. Take the hips down and forward and the chest up in space. Now guys, I'm going to ask you to really dive deep within the body and feel the difference in sensation here. We've now moved from those really deep hip flexors into the ones closer to the surface. This is going to allow you to know what you need more. Where is the sensation loudest? That's a really good indication of if you should be focusing on the deeper hip flexors or the ones closer to the surface. Let's take our last big breath in here. Half Hanuman as you breathe out. Taking the hips back, the chest forward. If you want, you can start to flex through those right toes. Start to feel now the right hamstrings opening. It's really, really important here that you're not dropping too much weight onto this right knee, that you're still staying relatively buoyant through the upper half by drawing the chest and the collarbones forward in space, energetically taking the sitting bones up and back, just like an open eagle. A really beautiful one to utilize in this little flow that we're just about to create. Take your last breath out here. And then when you're ready, just like at the beginning of class, let's floss through this together. As you breathe in, reground the right foot, drop the hips down and forward, chest, that string, drawing it up. As you breathe out, take the hips back, fold into the space. And just 2 more times. Really becoming one with the body, observing how it's feeling, especially in comparison to the beginning of class. Have you found more depth? Has the sensation changed? These are all really important things to notice. And it really points out why we do this practice. This last breath in. And as you breathe out, let's swap over sides, taking that right knee to the earth, that left leg forward, interlace the hands, pinky finger closest to the knee. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, puff this upper back towards the back of the room. Guys, notice the sensation when you tuck your chin to your chest. It's wild that by moving something through the upper half of the body, the sensation changes through the lower half. Little do we realize, everything is connected. And yes, it's an obvious thought, but it's not something that's at the forefront of our mind. So start to play around with grounding down, so much so through the right toenails. See how it feels to turn on through the right glute. Just observe how these little alterations through the body change the sensation. Let's take our last breath out. Push your knee away a little bit more. As you breathe in, recenter, drop the hips down and forward, chest up. Become really aware of the difference in feeling, in sensation. And just notice the deeper hip flexors in comparison to the ones closer to the skin. For all of us, that sensation should be different, but is that loud or pretty quiet? Let's take our last breath in. Half Hanuman as you breathe out. Now what you guys will notice is that Tyler has dropped his hips onto his right foot. If that's too much pressure for the extension in the ankle or potentially the right knee, you can stay buoyant, you can stay lifted in this shape. It's exactly the same. Once again, just notice what's best for you, honor the body and stay in that shape. There is no right, there is no wrong. If you want a little bit more, maybe you flex those left toes for this last round of breath. All right, let's floss this movement through. As you breathe in, shift hips down and forward, proud through the chest. Hold breath out to fold into the space. Good, keep going with this 3 more times on your own. Using the breath to create this rhythm for the movement. If you want to slow down and explore the movement a little bit more, slow down the breath. And you'll notice as you slow down the breath just how that impacts the inner world. Last one. Really nice. Slow and steady, we're going to come down to a seat. However that looks, don't worry about it. Just slowly come down. I'll get your face forward for you, Tyler. Bring your feet out relatively wide, but ground down through the soles of your feet. We're going to windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. Good. And just really slowly find this internal rotation, external rotation movement. Now you'll notice that your sitting bones want to shuffle you forward a little bit. That's okay. Just move really slow through this movement. Observing how the hips are feeling, this ball and socket joint. We'll do this one more time, either side. Observing how each leg feels in this internal rotation, external rotation. Once you're ready, legs out wide, toes towards the sky. Now here, I'm going to really encourage you guys, keep your toes pointed up towards the sky and keep an engagement through the thighs by lifting your kneecap towards your hip. Keep this. Tyler's just currently playing with lifting his kneecap towards his hips. As you breathe in, lift up through the crown of your head, hinge at the hips. As you breathe out, send the chest forward in space. Now this is one where we all look so unbelievably different. For some of us, we'll move hardly an inch. And then there's others that will look like Tyler. One of the best things in this practice is there is no right or wrong. We keep the body in safe alignment, yes. But when it comes to things like this, we just honor where the body is at. We can only work from where we are. And forcing the body is not going to allow it to find that space and that length that we're looking for. So close your eyes. Leave the sensations of your legs where it is, in your legs. And take your awareness to your breath. Feel as your ribs expand, the diaphragm moves down, the lungs fill up. As you breathe out, the ribs contract, the diaphragm moves up to push the air out. Take 3 more breaths like that, becoming aware of our diaphragm moving within our body. And knowing that our breath doesn't need to be unconscious, it can be a conscious action. Take that last exhale, push the belly button to the spine. Slowly rise up. Really nice. Start to bring your left heel in towards your hip. Good. And run your right arm along the inside of your right leg. Spin your chest open to the sky, and then start to elongate this left hand past your foot. For many of us, because the side body is really tight, it's going to pull this left shoulder forward in space and encourage the body to close over towards the right leg. I'm going to ask that you guys play around with energetically grounding through the left sitting bone first, and then start to move up the chain by turning your belly button forward almost towards this left leg. Rolling open through the chest. If it lifts you up in space, that's okay. You just want to open up through this whole side body. So keep pulling these points away from one another. Left sitting bone down. Left hand up. When you're ready, slowly plant down through this left hand. Right arm spins open. Send your hip points forward in space. Flash dance. Open the anterior side. And keep sending those hip points forward. We're going to take one more expansive, big breath in. And as you breathe out, windmill down. Slow and steady, let's swap over sides. Right heel in towards your hip. First, spin your chest towards the right side. And gently, that left hand falls to the inner leg. Work from the ground up. We always want to work from that foundation. Ground down through that right sitting bone as much as you can, energetically. And then once you've got that ground down, slow and steady, start to peel open through the body. Find that length. See if you can spin that pinky finger down towards the earth. Keep breathing here. For many of us, opening up through the side bodies is a lot, me included, very much so. And just take your last breath in and out, planting that right hand down behind the sitting bones. Lift up on the right knee, send your hip points forward, open up this whole anterior side. As much as you can, keep reaching this left hand back energetically as much as you can. And then slow and steady. Sitting bones down to the earth. Guys, bring both legs together, lay down on your back. Good. Hug your knees in nice and tight. And give yourself that loving hug. You deserve it. And keeping your right knee where it is, send your left leg long. And before we find our supine twist, guys, start to draw circles with the right knee. This is a really nice opportunity just to feel how the hips are after all of this movement, all of this space. So just take one more circle. And then once you feel ready, use a breath out to land in your supine twist. Shift the hips to the right just a little. And then allow that right knee to fall over the left side. Our attention lies in our shoulders. I'm trying to keep our shoulder blades grounded as much as we can. And then wherever that right knee lands, that's where it lands. Rather than forcing the body into this shape, I'm going to encourage you guys to use your breath out. As you breathe out, relax. Soften. This passive breath, use that to fall deeper into this shape. This is where this mindfulness enters the practice. By placing our attention on one part of the body and being there, nowhere else. So keep drawing your right shoulder blade down. Observe how this twist through the mid-spine makes you feel. Just use one more breath out to find a little more depth if that's available for you. And then once you're ready, slow and steady, come back to center. Your right leg can run long straight away, but hug that left knee and readjust your hips and draw those circles. Just noticing if there's any grainy, sticky movements on the internal rotation in comparison to the external. This is very slight, but it will still be there. Once you are ready, that supine twist is waiting. Fall really heavy. Left shoulder blade is where your attention lies. That left knee will do whatever it needs to do. Maybe your eyes closed down. Maybe you once again use those passive breaths to find depth. Just 2 more rounds of breath here. Use that last passive exhale to fall a little bit deeper. Offer your body this space. And then really slowly roll to center. Find happy baby. As best as you can, lift your knees towards your armpits, just energetically first, and then catch the outer edges of your feet. Try and ground down through your shoulder blades and draw your knees a little bit closer. Maybe you rock a little from side to side. Maybe you close down your eyes. Just enjoy this last active opening for the hips. Once you feel as if you are ready, Supta Baddha Konasana. That's available for you. Just allow your hips to open with gravity's pull. Allow your eyes to close, your jaw to soften, your shoulders to become heavy, but your breath remains fluid. As we fall into this stillness, it doesn't mean we lose where we are. As you gently place your body in Shavasana, I invite you to become more mindful than ever. Observe how your neck is feeling. Take that awareness now into your shoulders. Slowly that awareness moves into the belly, the ribs. We now draw our attention to our hips and our thighs. Maybe you can feel the space, the freedom. The attention now moves through our calves, our feet, and the heaviness of our heels pushing into the earth. Finally, the body finds this true stillness. Start to bring your attention back to your breath. And back to that in and out flow. Introduce movement if that's what you crave. Once you feel as if you are ready, I invite you to a seat. Keep your eyes closed. Allow your hands to fall in Anjali Mudra. Bow your head to your hands. Even though we are not in studio, we are still together in this practice. Together we honor the practice, we honor each other, and we honor ourselves. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining us, yogis. As we start to creep a little closer to the new year, we are really excited to share what's happening with Open Door and the direction we're starting to find ourselves in. We really, really look forward to sharing that with you. We'll see you soon, guys. Let us know how you went.
Thanks, guys.